Now it is level. We're planing down these thicker boards into thinner boards for the floor, going down to 3/4 of an inch. So we set the combination square to 3/4 of an inch. That way we can just hold it flush there, and as soon as it gets level there, then it is good to go. This board is complete. Next step for these boards would be tonguing grooves with the router. Stay tuned.
All I'm doing is using this to scratch and like check to see if there's nails in the boards. The awesome thing is that we're using reclaimed wood. The tricky thing is that sometimes there's secret nails or screws, mostly old nails, that are like 100 years old, that are living inside of these boards. And yeah, they're just hiding out in there, sometimes deep in the holes, hidden, sometimes like halfway through the wood. So it's kind of a tricky job.
So after Erin takes out the nails, she sets the boards here in this stack, and then I'm able to take them over to the planer. This is what the boards look like whenever they are old. Essentially, they're rough sawn, beautiful boards. These things are about 1 inch to 1.125 inches thick. And then we're planing them down to be 3/4 inch thick, that we use the combination square to verify the thickness as we're going. But the boards are looking great. There's some rough edges on them. So the next step after this will be to true them up, cut off any parts that were not gonna be usable, because like here on the edge, it's seen some weather. That wouldn't be good for a nice tight seam for the floor.
Sunshine! Woo. Yeah. Yeah, sunshine. Get 'em.
So as we're planing these, we're only taking off maybe about 1/16 of an inch at a time because we've got this 12-inch planer. Our boards are quite wide. We've got boards that are about 10 inches all the way to 12 inches that we're dealing with. So that's a lot of material for the planer to take off at one time. We try not to get too aggressive with it. That way it goes through smooth. More passes, smoother versus trying to fight the machine. Let the machine do the work and then just guide it through. What do we got on the docket today?
We are cutting and laying out the floorboards, and then we're gonna install them, right?
Yeah, so this is actually the floor that we're gonna be walking on. So we got access to some beautiful reclaimed barnwood, and we're actually really excited because these are very large pieces of wood, as you can see right here behind us in front of the schoolie. They're massive, and they've got a lot of really cool character to them. Rough sawn marks, nail holds, old blacksmithing nails, all sorts of really cool stuff.
They're so gorgeous. I swear these projects just keep getting more and more exciting because every piece of wood that we put down in that bus makes it feel so much more warm and homey.
And it's not quite so tinny in there anymore. Like when we're talking, it's starting to actually absorb the sound and have a nice tonality, you know, sort of announcer-esque.
Like, we might not have to edit our audio in the bus soon.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, because we have to edit out a lot of the tinny noise and stuff.
Ting, ting, bing, bing.
Ooh-ee. So we've got to rip all of these boards into smaller widths because they are way too wide. If you've ever built anything out of wood, the bigger the piece, the more possibility of cupping happening, and that's where the wood starts to warp because of moisture changes and humidity levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna rip them smaller. So probably about 4-inch and 6-inch face we're kind of thinking about to see if we can make a tongue and groove in it also, and then put them down. And that'll help reduce the amount of cupping that happens. And that's just because of the rings in the wood and stuff like that too. You have to do what you have to do with an old table saw. You have to keep adjusting both sides. Not like the newer ones.
This thing's gotta be like 80 years old. Brian put a light switch on it for an on and off.
There we go. Make sure that's tight. That's tight. All right. Let's throw in some ear plugs. Got an eye pro. Put some hand pro on too. Foam, plywood.
Yeah, if the plywood is just slightly bigger than the hole.
Yeah. The frame ultimately needs to be, the height of it needs to be this high because we want it flush against there. So this top edge.
Pretty close. We'll have to clean it a bit.
Yeah.
Do you think that gets hot?
No.
Yeah, and then just put foam plywood, and then if we need to plane the boards that sit on top of it a little bit, then we can. We wouldn't plane plywood.
Yeah.
It would just probably be a mess.
Let's check her down, make sure we don't hit the floor pan.
We just boxed off the top of the diesel fill.
Right there.
Right there. So we're gonna have like a secret door. Not really a secret, it's just gonna be part of our floor.
Yeah.
But it's all gonna be level with the floor.
Yeah.
So while we're cutting all the pieces for the flooring, it only made sense to know exactly where that edge is so that we can snuff the boards up directly against the bucks.
So far we only have about, maybe about a quarter of the bus already cut out. We haven't tongue and grooved any of them yet, but we're gonna get to that.
What's your PPE, Garcia?
PPE today, eye pro, ear pro, face pro, and glove pro. Pro.
Looks really good. What you doing?
Trying to make a straight edge from a live edge. All right, so what we have is a piece of reclaimed barnwood that we've already planed, but we need to make a straight edge. So the thing about it is this particular piece doesn't have a flat edge to that we could rip on the table saw. So I found this piece of metal that is definitely straight. I looked at it, it's got no curve on it. And right now I'm figuring out how far to put this over and clamp it down so that essentially it's the guide. It's gonna be kind of like one of those fences that you could buy for a circular saw that it just slides across and you get a nice straight line. But we don't have one of those, so we're improvising right now, and this is a really cool way to do it. There we go.
Whoa, this is taking us days to get done. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. You think we're gonna get done?
I have no idea.
We don't know.
I'm getting worn out over
I
here.
think it's zoomed. No, not zoomed.
Yeah.
Worn out.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're gonna get this video done in time.
Yeah,
Or finish this project before we get a video to you.
Yeah. The video might be late, but we don't know.
We're gonna do our best, guys. Back to work. (11:16 p.m.)
We finally finished routing all of the tongues into all 20 rows. Actually only 19. The last row does not get a tongue, and the very first row does not get a groove because they're both against the wall. So here is the first groove routed in. So these are 3/4 inch boards. We've got a 1/4 inch tongue and a 1/4 inch on each side equals 3/4 inch. And then the groove, we got a 1/4 inch router bit that we're routing the grooves in. So essentially it's taking a 1/4 inch of material right out of the middle of the board so that whenever we go from row 2 to row 1 and connect them, they fit together. Now, it's gonna be a tight fit. I don't wanna smash this together right now because once we put it together, that's what it's gonna be. But it fits like a glove. Wow. So here's an example here on the end so you could kind of see how it works. And notice that whenever it is put together, that there's a little bit of space inside there. That way for expansion and contraction, the tongue can ride up and down and go further into the groove if it needs to, and it allows that tongue to swell if it needs to also, depending on the humidity and the environment that you're in. So that's the first groove. We've got many more grooves to go. Let's get groovy.
It's nice that it worked.
I know. I'm so happy that worked. It's been a lot of work to route those tongues in. And Erin's been doing awesome with the sanding. She's rocking it.
The never-ending sanding.
Never-ending sanding, never-ending routing. So now that the router station's all set up, I'm going to route a ton of more grooves in. And we'll start securing this floor down.
Need to dust the vacuum before we use the vacuum. Now we are going to go vacuum the floor, lay down this stuff, this sheet of recycled paper to reduce our squeaks, and then we're gonna start laying the floor. I don't know what time it is. It's probably like past 1 a.m. We're tired, but we're not persistent. What's that word?
We are persistent.
We're persistent and we're committed. And my camera guy's falling asleep, so let's go.
1:09 a.m.
All right, that's enough footage. The hour is 1:49-ish a.m. All right, we're gonna lay a floor now. We want to put a wrap on this video, which means we want to at least show you what Brian likes to call a swath of floor.
A swath of floor. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's 151 now. It's 151 now.
Yeah.
See? Oh, it disappeared.
All right, let's get to this.
Yeah, there it is.
We worked until the wee hours of the night.
Pretty much until I smashed my thumb.
So make sure you stay tuned for the next video where we show you how we fill the old nail holes
And smooth out the surface.
You're still watching, huh? Bye-bye. Here we go! Oh. Tripod malfunction. There we go.
Dark and moody.
Ooh. I'm gonna fix that up. Hello!
Hello there!
Why do we both have an accent? Let's start again. Do over.
Last row to cut.
Get out of the way.